Welcome everyone to Azure Security Center in the Field episode 9. Today we're going to talk a little bit about some new capabilities again that were released recently at Ignite. We are just going to go really deep on this one because we have the developer that was responsible for implementing those features in Azure Security Center. So without further ado, I'd like you to introduce you to Brownshtein from our Azure Security Center development team. Bar, thank you very much for being here today.
Thank you, Yuri. Thank you for hosting me.
All right, so the first capabilities that we are going to talk about, we have actually two major ones, which is the enforcement and deny mode, as well as the exemption capability. I'd like to start with the enforce deny. What was the idea behind adding this capability in Azure Security Center?
Okay, so security misconfigurations are a major cause of security incidents. That's why we introduced new capabilities that we now offer at Security Center, which give the user the ability to prevent misconfiguration of new resources, and all of this is for specific recommendation.
Good point. You said specific recommendations, right?
Yeah,
so that means that it's not for all recommendations.
No, it's specifically by recommendation. And finally, as a result, it's increased the customer secure score.
Okay. And what was which recommendations are we targeting? Are we going to expand the amount of recommendations that have the enforcement deny?
At this moment, we're supporting set of recommendations, but we are working on expand it. It's depending few factors.
Mm-hmm. And as far as I understand, this feature can have either enforcement or deny. This also varies according to the recommendation, right?
Yeah.
And there is any particular permission that I need to have in order to use this feature?
Yes, you should have an owner on the subscription or policy contributor.
Policy contributor. Okay, great. So let's go straight to the first demonstration. If you can start this first demo, that would be great.
Okay, so let's start with enforce. Here we can see the new dashboard of Security Center. I will choose recommendations. And I will choose auditing on SQL Server should be enabled. Here we can see the recommendation details. And also we can see the new button, enforce. I will click on it. Clicking on the button will open a signed new policy page. And here I have to fill the parameters. I will choose my subscription. I can change the assignment name. I will leave it the suggested one. And each policy have several additional parameters. Here I need to choose the resource group. I will choose some resource group and click create. That's all. We can see that the policy assignment created in the background. And after that, next time I will try to deploy a resource with misconfiguration, the deploy if not exist will act and automatically remediate the issue.
Great. And I'm assuming that the enforce button will be disabled since there is already enforcement for that.
No, because you can assign multiple policy assignments. So
got it. Right, because you can do for other subscriptions as well, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, makes sense. And do you have any example of deny?
Yeah. For deny, we will go back to all recommendations, and I will choose another recommendation. I will take secure transfer to storage account should be enabled. And here we can see the same experience. We have new button. It's named deny. But here we bring all the experience to Security Center. We don't need to jump into policy page. Clicking on deny will open me a new page, and here I can see all my subscriptions and management groups in kind of a tree, and I can see also the current status of the subscription. For example, my private subscription is in audit state. If I want to change the state to deny, I can click on the checkbox. it's also multiple select, so I can change
The
number
selection
of
for the
scopes at
management
once.
group, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a management group. And let's say I want to change this scope effect. I will choose him and click change to deny. We can see it change in the background, and now the current state changed to deny. Okay, all the grayed out are subscriptions or management group, which I don't have the required permissions, like I said before, owner or policy contributor.
Now, is this changing to deny on the ASC default policy?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's changing ASC default initiative.
The enforcement is also changed on the ASC default, or is actually create a
No.
new one?
In enforce, you assign new policy, which is deploy if not exist.
Okay. And
In
this
security
one,
center, in security center initiative, we don't have deploy if not exist policies.
okay. So the only one that we are able to change the ASC default is for deny.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right, cool. That's great.
I also want to show you how I can easily change it back to audit using this button. I will click on it and change to audit in any case you want to revert it back and bring everything back to the previous state.
And the permission on this one is the same as the enforce?
The same, right? Owner or policy contributor.
So if I have secure admin permission, security center is not enough?
No.
Okay. All right, that's great. Let's go back here to our 101. Those are two important features, mainly for governance perspective. And one of the reasons why this is important is because a lot of customers, they are chasing to improve their security score. And suddenly when they provision new resources that are not secure by default, the security score drop, right? So you want to make sure that you get those lessons learned from Security Center and deny any type of resource to be provisioned if it's not using those settings. Okay, so you have to have a planning in place to make sure that you are doing the right thing. Usually, you're gonna have either the deny, as a bar showed, or the enforcement. Depends on the recommendation. So those are two important inclusions that we had in Security Center recently. The other one, which I think is one of the most important ones that we heard a lot from customers, is the exemption capability, right? So explain to us a little bit more about the exemption, please.
Okay. To this day, the only way to remove recommendations from the ASC dashboard and prevent them from influencing your secure score was to disable the role-related policy in Azure Security Center initiative. But that way, all resources were affected. Now, with the new resource exemption capability, you can select which resource should no longer be evaluated against a particular recommendation. For example, in case the resource is already healthy, because it was resolved by other solution, or you have decided to take the risk if not mitigating this recommendation.
Okay. Yeah, so the exemption is a classic scenario. Let's say that you have, for example, 10 resources that you need to remediate, and for some reason you identify that there are 2 or 3 resources out of those 10 that you don't want to remediate for some reason. You don't want to create some exemptions. So this feature will address that. So let's go to the demo to take a look on that one as well.
Okay, I just want to mention that enforce and deny are actions which are relevant only to new resources. It means those actions will not affect any existing resource, but exemption should be set on existing resource. This is the difference between the features.
Very important.
So again, here you can see the all recommendation. I will choose again secure transfer to storage account should be enabled. And here we can see a table with our resources, unhealthy resources, healthy and not applicable. Exempted resources will be shown here. So let's say I want to exempt this resource. I will click on this menu and click create exemption. This is the create exemption page. Here we need to fill the required parameters. I can change the exemption name if I like. I will use the suggested one. I can set expiration date. It means after this date, the exemption will no longer be valid. And it's edited by me, and mitigation category. Mitigated means the different solution is already created for the resource, and waiver means that the recommendation is irrelevant for this resource for some reason. And exemption description, if it can help me remember why I created this resource.
Question on this. When you write this exemption justification later on, can I query that text that I wrote?
Where? Here?
Yeah, the text that I wrote there. Can I query later on?
Yeah.
But using API, right?
Yes, of course.
But not Azure Security Center API or Azure Security Center API or Azure Policy API?
It's Azure Policy API.
Okay. So this feature runs on top of the Azure Policy exemption.
That's true.
Okay.
Okay, so right on. Click on this action and click on save. We can see the exemption created successfully. Now it can take up to 30 minutes to the effect take place and change the state of the resource from unhealthy to exempted, and then the resource will move to this tab.
So that's a very important point. So when we create the exemption, the resources move to not applicable. Now the question is, on the reason column, is it going to show because it's exempted?
Yeah,
yes.
You can see it exempted, and it's exempted because it mitigated.
Excellent.
It's according
that's great.
to the reason we chose previously.
Yeah, that's great.
And also here I can edit the exemption using the same experience like before, or we can delete the exemption. Again, it can take up to 30 minutes to change the effect.
Does the time varies according to the type of recommendation, or is always going to be around 30 minutes?
It's depend on several factors. The average is 30 minutes, but it can take also 2 or 3 minutes.
Okay. All right. So this is you said that you can edit the exemption from there if you need to.
Yeah.
So if you need to extend. Let's say that you put the extension for 3 months. So if you want to extend, you can do that as well.
You can change the expiration date. You can remove the expiration date. You can change the category or change the description if you like.
That's great. That's awesome. Now, when we query this information, because this information is on graphs on Azure Resource Graph, there is any field that will tell that this resource is exempt?
Yes, you will see this. You will see the state, the resource state, and you will see exempt mitigated, exempt waiver, or healthy. You will see the real state of the resource.
Okay, that's also very important because sometimes you are querying the resource graph and you want to look for that particular state. So this state will tell you if there is exempted or not.
That's true.
That's great. Well, there was a great set of demos and explanation about these two capabilities, Bar. Thank you very much for your time. Do you have any final consideration regarding those features that you want to share with our audience?
I just want to thank you for everyone, to our audience. Recommend to all of you to put your hands on and try our new capabilities in Security Center. And if you have any feedback, you are welcome to send us using this banner. We would like to hear your voice.
When you say this banner, you're talking about that one, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Would like to. Yes. Okay. Great. Yeah, this is an important factor. You can send the feedback directly from the UI. Although you can use the Azure Security Center user voice website for this particular recommendation, you have feature actually. You have an option in the UI to send the feedback directly to the team, and the team is reading those feedback. So make sure to share. And when you share your feedback, give us some explanation about why you need some of the improvements and perhaps even some other features to be added on top of the existing ones. And with that, that's pretty much a wrap for today's episode. Thanks again for your audience. Make sure to subscribe to Microsoft Security channel and stay tuned for more episodes. Thank you, Bar, and thank you all for watching. See you next time.